Thank you, David. So as David said, I'm Alexei Rodriguez. I'm the head of operations for Evernote Corporation. So basically where the company wants to help you remember everything. We have about 50 million users on the service. We have approximately 350 MySQL instances that are in production. Basically for every 200,000 users, we add another instance. So basically it's this problem of scale. So we have about 300 employees. 10 of those are in operations running the service, no DBAs. And so we sort of had this issue of, okay, we need to get everybody up to a common baseline. So I had some staff members that had said, hey, we'd love to go to the Percona training, but as David put up, there was sort of a lot of the logistics of having people travel, be out of pocket for that long. It's not so much the FUD of the project, but rather, okay, you're going to be on a metal tube for 5 hours each way. So it's sort of the compounding costs of that, the logistics. So we were sort of trying to figure out how we could make this happen. So because we recognized that we had the need to get everybody to a common baseline of knowledge, because everybody in operations is expected to have the same, they're all hands-on. We don't have any specialization. And so we needed to get everybody to a good known baseline of knowledge. And so, for instance, the things that we wanted to know was, is the MySQL running, is it tuned properly? Are the backups safe? Are they correct? Are we doing the right storage engine, for example? And do we have proper monitoring in place? Because these are things that had bitten us along the way. It's like, oh, you stub your toe, and it's like, we need to figure out how to solve this. So wanted to try to get ahead of the curve. And so we looked at sending people to the class, but then it became sort of the logistics challenge. And so then we looked into the on-site. We explored that. So we reached out to Percona. We basically quickly realized that the break-even point for us on this was around the 4-person number. So we were able to have Percona come in, do the on-site in our facility. We had 10 members plus a couple of people that dropped in and out. And we were able to customize the class to the problems that we were having. So of the 4 days of training, we were able to choose the modules that were relevant to what we were doing. So for instance, nobody in the group was doing any development, so we sort of struck some of these items from there. But we focused on the operator level things, the backup piece. We aren't doing any clustering, so we sort of moved these elements. So it was really great to be able to do the a la carte modules and then mix it up as we went through. So we would finish something more quickly, or some things maybe more relevant to what we were doing, so we would skip ahead to the next piece. So it was really great to have that flexibility in the actual on-site implementation of the training program. So we ended up going with a 2-day program. Thankfully, the instructor, Bill, who's here, was local, so that worked out really well. We were able to get into the course. The material, we'd already selected the modules, but then as we were going through it, we could really dive into the specific application in our environment. So if there was something that Bill, as David said, didn't necessarily, not that he didn't know, but wanted to show. Like, it wasn't just oh yeah, believe me, RTFM. It was no, let's do this right now as a live exercise. And then we could do it in production or in the staging environment and verify those results. Like, okay, yeah, that's what we're seeing. Or, oh, no, wait a minute, we're on version 5.0. That feature is only available in version 5.5. So, okay, so what do we do then? And so Bill was able to say, okay, I'll find out. And so either later in the day or the next morning, he'd come back with, aha, here's the answer. And so that was really important to us, to be able to have those, we had some questions, didn't know how to put them out there, aren't going to be posting certain things to the community. And so that was another key benefit to us. And so at the end, we had 2 days of on-site training. We're able to bring in remote staff that they would have been doing the traveling anyway, but they'd be in the office. So the ops team never left the building. So people always felt, the rest of the company felt good about that. So there wasn't this external like, oh, ops is out in Vegas partying. No. They're in the building getting trained. And if anything came up, somebody could just duck out quickly. And people knew where we were. So that was very important to us as a company. So at the end, basically, the end result, so since I'm at the end of the day on the hook for the service, and MySQL is a fundamental piece of that service, the things that we came away with were knowing that my staff has a good common understanding and knowledge of how MySQL is running. So now if something goes bump in the night, it's not the, oh no, call Bob. He's the MySQL expert. No, everybody should be able to get through 85% of the things that we have on a regular basis. We also found out about some interesting things that we weren't aware of. Say the InnoDB plugin. Like we were using InnoDB, the storage engine, but weren't aware of the plugin. It's like, aha, duh, why aren't we doing this? So we, as a project afterwards, started rolling that out. And there was knowledge about the other Percona tools. So basically, since we don't have anybody that's living in the database, this was really important for us to be able to come up to speed and immerse ourselves in that environment and become aware of these other things that if we had somebody who was a full-time DBA, they'd be probably more well-versed than when you have 10 ops guys running the service. And yeah, we came away knowing that we actually had a good handle on things. So that was the other key takeaway. It wasn't the, dear God, I'm surprised that things are not on fire. And yeah, it was great that the instructor knew his stuff. And when he didn't, it wasn't, no, don't worry. He wouldn't make something up, he'd show us, so we would see that was the actual case and would not sort of find the answer. And so that was really important to us. So overall, this is something we're looking forward to doing as we grow the team. Now say, okay, let's go and do a refresher, make sure that everybody's still at that same level, even once we have somebody who is sort of a quote-unquote DBA on the team. And so yeah, so overall this was a great investment for us as a company, and it's had huge return. So I highly recommend in doing this. So that's my